Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video update. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about some altcoins that we typically get into at very early stages, right? These are altcoins that typically most investors kind of jump in on once it's kind of seen some significant gains. But today I'm going to be talking about entering into projects before they kind of launch, before they kind of build. And I'm going to show you kind of the output of investing super early into some of these projects. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, selecting all the notifications, and you will not miss another video update. Guys, let's kick things off by taking a look at what's going on right here, right? So this is a part of our Discord server, a part of the NFT collections that we have. And basically, there's benefits to being down in the free Discord, right? The link for that is in the description down below. When you're in that Discord, you know, it's a fantastic community that's kind of talking 24/7 crypto, and loads of different kind of opportunities present themselves, from the forms of doing your own research to NFT collections that grant you access to things, and so many other things. So I encourage everyone to kind of join the Discord. The link is in the description below. There's no cost to joining the Discord. There might be additional costs if you want to become a member of Cheeky Crypto, and additional costs if you're looking to participate in some private sales, seed rounds, crowdfunding, to that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about crowdfunding and kind of what it is that we do in terms of how to get into these projects super early, right? I suppose I spoke about this in a video a few days ago, maybe last week, and maybe I missed a few details. So I wanted to kind of just go through some of the additional detail in today's video and kind of showcase the power of these kind of investments, right? So on the screen here, you can see a portfolio. This portfolio is a list of projects that I have invested in myself. Obviously, I've blurred out the values, so you cannot see those. But this gives you an idea as to kind of, you know, what it is that's going on, right? And now these sales are available to our NFT holders down in our Discord server. So basically, if you join the free Discord, as I said many times already at this point, you can get more details and more information about this. So many of these projects that we kind of were looking at investing into, as you can kind of see in here, there's actually quite a long list, right? And we want to kind of reflect on, you know, what it says in here, right? So you have awaiting TGE. Now, waiting for TGE, this basically means that the project hasn't actually got a token yet, and you're buying the token before the token even exists, right? You're basically investing in the project, the team, and the technology of what they're trying to do and deliver. That idea is like getting into Apple before the iPod, right? It's getting into Amazon when they're only selling books online, right? It's basically the idea of you have the vision alongside the team, and you understand what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it, and potentially, you know, where the future of the world is going to be looking itself, you know, in 5-10 years or so. And that's really why we have these kind of crowdfunding solutions, because normally, in order to invest in a project at, you know, seed round, private round, before the tokens exist, you have to have a significant amount of capital. Normally you're putting in, you know, $500,000, $200,000, right? Some tickets or some sales basically require you as an investor to have pretty sizable amounts of capital. Now, there's launch pads, obviously, in the crypto space. We talk about these from time to time as well. And they, again, have a pretty hefty barrier to entry. Sometimes you have to hold 10, 20, even $100,000 of tokens, of their token or launchpad token, just to be able to access and have the ability to actually take part in the launches that they have. And then, of course, it's first come, first serve, and you can only invest $100 or $200 at a time. This is great if you're like, you know, a big baller, kind of wants to get in there, first come, first serve. You have some capital to kind of throw at things, but you're not really going to make life-changing amounts of money by throwing $100 or $200 at those sales. And you've already kind of got the investment of $100,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever it may be, in tokens just to be able to participate. The barrier to entry on those launch pads are quite high. Sometimes, you know, it's just not obtainable for the everyday retail investor. And that's why crowdfunding really kind of comes in. And it's kind of what we try to do down in the Discord server, right, through our partnerships with VCs and things like that. Now, here you can see that we've obviously crowdfunded quite a few different projects over the last year or so, right? It's come down to the bottom here. You have things like 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪 hasn't done particularly well. And that's something I really want to kind of talk about as well. Like these projects, they're still kind of building, they're still trying to deliver on things, but sometimes it takes a lot longer than, you don't hope them to be, right? And not all of them are going to give you the kind of gains straight off the bat, 100x or anything like that. Sometimes they do take some time. Sometimes they do fail because, the projects that were too ambitious, they didn't really raise enough capital and it just wasn't enough, right? So it's definitely a high risk game, but sometimes you get an absolute gem. Take Hypercycle here, for example. Hypercycle did an 86x on TGE, which basically was fantastic for all of the early adopters, all of the early investors in the project. So again, you can see some really good, profitable seed rounds and crowdfunding opportunities as well. We had 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗀, again, fantastically well, still really, really cheap and still has so many more gains in the potential bull run, in my opinion. Cogito recently had a fantastic run to the upside. We did a private sale on that one as well. 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦 still hasn't had that moonshot opportunity yet, but has done incredibly well nonetheless, and I think it's going to continue to do phenomenally well. Twin Protocol is waiting TGE, 10 is waiting TGE. Live Art, we've invested in that during the crowdfunding, that's also at TGE. Cornucopious Nodes waiting TGE. Red Belly, most recent, some of these are most recent ones, obviously still waiting TGE. Sequoia, fantastic GameFi project. I think that's going to go on to do incredibly well. We did a seed round or a private round on that one, or waiting TGE. Minutes Network, we raised over $2 million for crowdfunding, and done. I think it's going to do phenomenally well when it does launch. And we're still waiting on TGE on that. Renoverse, most recent sale that we've or crowdfunding that we've kind of achieved most recently, still waiting TGE. As you can see, many of these haven't had their token generation events just yet, but we have been crowdfunding them very, very well so far, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of do today's video, because we're going to be launching another crowdfunding opportunity on the 16th of May, and that's going to be for 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪�ึ𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗙 getting into a project before it's even launched. Now, 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗃, in my opinion, is more than what it might seem on the surface. There's a lot to this one, and it is a reasonably complex, right? So you're definitely going to want to do your own research, come to your own conclusions on it, and dig deep. Ultimately, this particular project, I think, is going to touch so many different areas of the crypto world, right? A lot of people will look at it and say, oh, it's just a metaverse, or is it just a GameFi kind of project? And actually, it goes much deeper than all of that. And I think there's going to be a lot of other kind of projects or Web3 players that are actually going to connect up with 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗃 in the future, just because of what it is that their technology is able to do. And I think that's going to be a bit of a game changer for the industry overall, and for the users as well. I think it'll be hard to kind of miss 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗃 in a few years. And I think 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗃 is going to be kind of very similar to Ethereum in a roundabout way, with lots of people potentially building on it, lots of different use cases, whether that's NFTs, whether that's, DeFi, various other kind of elements that are going to get added to it. I think for layer ones, 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗃 is standing out from the crowd a little bit. Okay, so although you can argue maybe we don't need more layer ones, this one I think is doing a few things very, very different than many of the others, and the use cases, like I say, are phenomenal. So this is the next one that we're going to be doing a crowdfunding exercise on down in our Discord server. There is going to be a barrier to entry to that, though, because we do want to make sure that this is something that you people do take advantage of, and don't just kind of say they're going to throw $50, $100, $200 at these things. By all stretch of the imagination, you can. It's just, I think actually you're going to want to potentially make more X's through larger investments personally. Now, in order to gain access to this, it's going to be a part of what we call the Secret Crypto Club. But if you do join the Discord in the link below, you'll get more details to all of this stuff anyway. Okay, so the Secret Crypto Club is a collection of NFTs, and those NFTs basically get you access to these kind of crowdfunding opportunities, right? There are 3 levels to this. Alpha NFTs, which basically have a minimum investment of $200, but there is no maximum that they can invest. So unlike launch pads where they can invest up to $200, up to $400, whatever it may be, this alpha NFT basically means that you can invest any amount of money that you want to, up to 100, 200, 300, a million if you really had it to kind of throw at a startup like 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪, for example. Underneath that, we have the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗪. These NFTs, minimum investments are $200, but they have a maximum of $2,500. It does come in the form of a first come, first serve, but more details on all of that can be found in the Discords below. And then Omega sits underneath that with, again, a maximum of $1,000 that they can invest into these crowdfunding opportunities. Now, at the moment, we are still going through that minting process. So if you do want to kind of take part in the 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪 sale through the Secret Crypto Club, then you're going to need either a beta or Omega. We are fully minted out of alpha NFTs, so you can't get those. You have to get them on the secondary marketplace. The current price of the beta NFT is $275, right? So unlike the launch pads where you have to hold 10, 20, $100,000 of tokens, this you hold an NFT. That NFT grants you access to all the private sales, all the seed rounds, all the crowdfunding opportunities that the Secret Crypto Club has. Okay, this is like an NFT that pays for itself over and over and over again, in my humble opinion. But again, don't ask me, ask the people down in our Discord. They'll give you their honest thoughts and opinions. The Omega NFTs are $150. And again, more details on all of these can be found in the description, in the Discord server, and obviously in the description down below. Okay, so that's kind of where you're going to be able to kind of get access to the crowdfunding opportunities. And I do think there's going to be many of them in the coming months. So we try to do at least kind of 1 to 2 of these crowdfunding opportunities every single month. Sometimes it doesn't quite play out that way, but sometimes you get loads of them. For example, I think so far we've turned away three different projects that are looking for raising capital simply because we just don't have the capacity to deal with it right at this particular moment. So if we go ahead and take a look at some of these projects that have done well so far, from a trading view point of view, here you can see NTX. This is NewNet. Now, NewNet is not one that we actually did crowdfunding for, but this is one that Chris and myself first actually got into investing super early, right? Helping these projects launch. So before NewNet launched, we were very early investors. Not the first project we actually did, because the first project that we actually invested in before launch was 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 on the Cardano ecosystem. And we all know how well that's done so far, and I still think that's got potential to it. NewNet was the second one, and you can see it's done reasonably well from its low-end area that we saw back in 2022. We did see over 3,000% in gains. It did phenomenally well, and that was the first one. We saw Rejuve as well. Again, we saw this one from its TG not do so well, but it has recovered quite nicely, and still way above where you actually get in on these crowdfunding opportunities. But the best one that we saw, of course, was so far is Hypercycle. Hypercycle has done phenomenally well. We have seen this rise up over 1,000% since it launched, and I still think this one has so much more in the game to go, right? So we did see this one topping out at $1.15, but we were buying this at 2.5 cents in the crowdfunding opportunity. Okay, we had Sophiaverse. Again, it done phenomenally well straight out of the gate here, and has kind of cooled off quite a bit since. So we saw 800% from launch. Again, we're buying into this, I think, around that kind of 2.5 cent. But again, more details can be found in our Discord server, link in the description down below. Okay, so the reason that I kind of wanted to kind of do this video today is because a lot of people kind of say, you know, we just talk about the same projects over and over again on the YouTube channel. And actually, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the background. There's a lot of things that happen in the Discord server that people don't typically see on the YouTube channel side of things, which is why we often encourage you all to kind of join us in Discord, because it's where we hang out pretty much 24/7. And it's also the area where all of these other projects that we talk about, where all these other crowdfunding opportunities appear. We don't always talk about these things on the YouTube channel. And so to clarify things off here, we have invested in these private sales for quite some time. We've got quite a long list of projects that I've invested in, as you could see on the screenshot. That was only the first page. And of course, we can also see all the ones that are still waiting for TGE, as in they haven't actually got their token generation event across the line yet. And when they do, we're going to see so many more X's on our portfolios, right? And it's important that we understand that although some of these top 100 projects are great and everything, they aren't going to be giving you, that 100x potential. The 100x potential comes from getting into projects before they've even launched. And that is what we're trying to do within our Discord servers. It's what we're trying to do with the Secret Crypto Club, with the NFT collection that we have going on there, because it's those opportunities that we want to give and present to people. We want to lower that barrier to entry that we see with so many of these other launch pads, where you have to hold so many tokens and be able to invest so little into the projects that are launching. We're looking at trying to make this as fair as possible for as many people as possible, but also we need to make sure that anyone who wants to participate in the Secret Crypto Club is a serious member, and it really is serious about investing in these crowdfunding opportunities that are being presented. So you can let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you found this useful, smash the like button, and don't forget to join us down in Discord. Until the next one though, guys, I'll catch you then.